and I'm ready.
All praises. next composition. Next. Good evening. Peace and blessings to all. Thank you for joining us. What a remarkable day this is. This is our 5th year and our 15th module of aesthetically speaking music. And what a wonderful blessing it's been for us to be here and to continue our presentations to you. Let me say, first of all, greetings to all the seekers, because without you, we would not be able to be where we are right now. Hey, Charles, what's happening, brother? And I mean, I'm just so grateful for all of us to be those of you that were able to join us for this open house. And it's our open houses have been for the last 5 years. All of our open houses have been free for all, which is really wonderful, because if it's free, I want all to participate in our wonderful time. Luke Levitt, it's good to see you for the first time. It's good to see all of you that have good to see you, brother, and it's good to see welcome to Aesthetically Speaking Music. First of all, let me say that. Aesthetically Speaking Music, our 5th year and 15th module, as I said. The focus and our title of our module, our 15th module, will be Emerging Artists' Expressions in Music, in Art, Spoken Word, Dance, and Fashion, Emerging Thought and Activism, 1981 through 1989. And I'm going to say this, I've chosen this term to cover what I call singers. And I call them, if I can find the word that I begin to use, which I'm going to be using, I call it spoken music. I like that, Charles. Spoken music. Anyway, our mission, and I'm going to read our mission before I introduce our incredible staff. Luke Fuki, good to see your name, brother. Good to see you, and welcome. Our mission: we will explore a decade of continuous change of movement within the creative arts that reverberated throughout the globe. Modes of language expressed from sound to ear to heart to activism in cultural evolutions. Our mission. And I pray that we'll be able to accomplish this during the next 6 weeks. Our focus will be new and continuous regional movements by artists in the visual arts, music, as I said, spoken music, our singers, dance, fashion, and other modes of creativity. And I'm going to read our wonderful quote and then I will introduce our outstanding staff anyway. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too, quote unquote, ordinary or insignificant. Those are the things that make up the measure of our days. And they're the things that sustain us. And they're the things that certainly can become worthy of poetry. And those were the words from Sister Rita Dove, an incredible poet during the period from 1980 to 1989, 1981 to 89. I want to introduce our wonderful staff, who also, without them, we would not be able to be here. We will be somewhere floating in another world somewhere. But we have Juan Cardoso, who is in Rio de Janeiro, and we have Ilham Temet, who is in France. She wishes she was in her home in Morocco, but she's going to be in France with us tonight. Ilham, you go ahead. You have the floor first.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everybody.
Salam.
So happy to be here and welcome, first of all, everyone, for a new model. So happy to be here and to see you all. ESM family, we are here for a special model by its content, and also a model that signs the 5 years of the show. Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for your encouragement and support. Welcome.
Shukran.
شكرا جزيلا.
Okay, Juan.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Nice to be back on the garden, in this amazing journey as always. And yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in this time period that Ralph picked up, and we're gonna have small samples of this in Morocco, in Brazil as well, further on. One important thing about tonight, since it's an open and public session, we are also transmitting this session live on YouTube. So also good evening everyone who's watching us there. And we are not showing any of you who are here on Zoom, just for you to not worry about it. It's just Ralph or whoever is speaking. And for those of you who are new, the format of this session is Ralph is gonna play the playlists of songs previously selected. We're gonna show also some artwork from artists of this period. And at the end, we open the mics for questions, comments, contributions. And of course, you can also always send them in the chat here on Zoom and also um, on our chat on YouTube. And just to finish with the housekeeping rules and news, uh, as we said, today is a free session, but we will follow with 6 weeks of this program every Thursday, same time. And for those, we have also these the payment system. The preferable is Zelle, right, Ralph?
Yes, take their dogs off. Okay. Yes. I'm going to say I prefer Zelle. For those of you that do join us for our first session beginning next Thursday and going for 6 weeks. That's how we do. I prefer Zelle. PayPal has been really strange for me for some reason. I don't know why, but if you do PayPal, it's okay. But say that you're sending this for family or friend and not business, because then it gets into another area that, we don't want to step into. So, yeah.
And also for those who are watching on YouTube and want just to send any kind of contribution for tonight, be welcome, even if you're not joining us. But if you want to join us, the event will be in our website, so you can subscribe to the next sessions, and you can, as you see in the bottom, you can do just one session or 130 for the full module of 6 weeks.
Thank you, brother. For our session, what we have tried, what I'm going to try to do during this session is to bring out some music from different regions that we aren't always accustomed to listening to. They were not the popular pop artists or the great artists of this particular time, but at any rate, we will attempt to bring some of this music from certain areas that we have. And we started off with Fela Kuti, who, of course, we know from Nigeria, and we have Sister Shekahada Duwaki from Morocco. Yeah, correct me, sister, if my pronunciation.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
What do you know? Let's get those tickets ready, Charles, for Morocco 2020. Okay, and the last selection that we heard was Next Stop Soweto by Abdullah Ibrahim, who was known for a time as Dollar Brand. But I wanted to start off our presentation on the continent, and then we're going to move into certain regions, and I'll be able to talk about some of these artists. But most importantly, I want you to soothe yourself and bathe yourself in these wonderful musical vibrations that we're going to be going through. Before I go one step further, let me say this. I want you to send your prayers out for Sister Trina Russell, who is recuperating from a illness, and I think she's going to be. I know she's going to be well, and I was hoping that she could join us tonight, but she's well on the mend, and we are, we want to let her know that our prayers are going out to her. She has been a staunch supporter of aesthetically speaking music since the very, very first day, so, and I just got word of that today. So we want to make sure that we send our prayers and blessings out to her for a speedy recovery. Okay. So I was sitting up, I was thinking about a long speech about what we're going to do, but I said, well, you know what? I'm going to let the music speak for itself like we always do. Luke, we have Luke Fuki who's in Detroit, and we also have Luke Levitt who's Luke, you're in Milwaukee or you're in Wisconsin somewhere? You're in Madison maybe, huh? Okay, you can use the chat, by the way. Denver, great, wonderful, brother. So anyway, I want to move forward with our music for this evening, and the incredible pianist composer, Mr. Mulhall Richard Abrams, and I thought we would do this composition he wrote called Blues Forever. Wonderful. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Carolyn, you know I hate to turn off the trombone. Charles, I'm so sorry. That trombone was talking about blues forever. Yes, absolutely. What an incredible recording. And the great, and I should say under-acknowledged Richard Mulhall Abrams from Chicago. I think he recorded this composition when he was living in New York, but he is one of our true masters that I hope you'll get a chance to listen to some more of his recordings, because this was probably one of the most inside pieces that you will ever hear him composing. But as we shall go on to the great Don Pullen. Don Pullen had a play with Charles Mingus. He played with his own group with George Adams. And this is a short piece called Rejoice, and you'll be able to hear some of his root life in this piece called Rejoice, because you can tell he came right out of the church, but he played a lot of really incredible piano. And this is a solo piece, Rejoice by Don Pullen.
Just a second. Are we skipping the Billy Band Quintet?
That's how.
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing that one.
All right.
Yeah. Save that for another day. Rejoice, Don Pullen. Evidence of things unseen and yet heard. We move over from New York to Detroit. The great and totally acknowledged worldwide Sister Jerry Allen. And this was one of her earlier recordings from the 1980s. And this composition is called Printmakers. it sounds like 10 people playing the piano. Jerry Allen, how incredible. And this was like one of her very first recordings. She was killing it. How incredible. And I'd have to find out, those of us from Detroit, we embraced Jerry Allen very early on when she was still a high school student, actually, and she just, she left an incredible legacy of music um, behind, even after she left Detroit and went to University of Pittsburgh, where she chaired the program in ethnomusicology, I believe. But what an incredible sister, and her music was beyond comment. Sometimes it was just so in our face, and that's how she was as a young woman. I do want to say a lot of the music that we're going to listen to tonight, we aren't going to always hear this in our regular sessions. So I'm going to say this, I want to get the good stuff out of the way first. The real good stuff. Butch Morris, Current Trends in Racism in Modern America. Butch Morris, the incredible creator of what they call conduction. And he created this style of conducting music that nobody other than, I'm going to say, Graham Haynes has picked up into that mode of that Butch Morris was doing. But he was just an incredibly gifted composer and trumpet player, if I'm not mistaken, in New York. I went to a memorial for Butch Morris when he passed away. They had an incredible memorial tribute to him in New York, and they had the great Avery Brooks doing the recitation and doing and spoke about Butch Morris. But this is just a sampling of some of his music, and it is called Current Trends in Racism in Modern America. I saw an incredible, I saw a very familiar name as they were showing the producer of this particular recording, Bob Wisdom, very dear friend of ours, and Bob, for some of you that may not know, he was one of the main characters, main actors in The Wire. Yeah, Bob Wisdom. So very, very gifted actor, and he spends his off time in Morocco, and that's where he plays the gambari as well. He's a very, 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 very creative brother, I should say, not only in the theater and in the film, but also in music. He has a great ear. There's a film he did, if you get an opportunity, called Night in the Blue Iguana, which is a very, very, very incredible film that he did that kind of slipped past a lot of people. Night at the Blue Iguana, just write that down. But if there's anything that you care to speak about, or if anything you want, just put it in the chat, and we will get to that sometimes during our session and sometimes afterwards, where we will discuss some of the things that we've covered. Herbie Hancock was doing some music that was very different. He was going in a kind of a different direction when he joined Fude Musa Suso for this recording called Village Life. And Fude is from the Gambia, and he plays the kora. And he's an incredible musician. I mean, I don't think Herbie made a mistake at all by including him in this recording with him at the height of both of their musical lives. So, Village Life, Herbie Hancock and Fude Musa Suso. We will hear an excerpt from that. There you go, Village Life. Let me say that it's wonderful that we have always supplied a playlist format for all of our seekers, that if when in your spare time that you can listen to this music or these artists, this great artists and their music in its entirety. What we're doing in our open house is offering a sampling, sort of a buffet, culinary buffet of music. So we get a chance to hear a lot of different musics from different places. And that was one with, of course, Herbie Hancock and Fude Musa Suso, who is just an incredible musician, two incredible musicians collaborating on that. This next composition was written by the late, great Charles Moore, and performed by the group Eternal Wind. Charles worked on a selection of compositions that dealt with the women goddesses, as he would say, Imaja, Jingu, which was the river, but he also did some other compositions that were related in its entirety with these great women, and what he was exploring at this particular time of his musical evolution, the great Charles Moore. And this is Eternal Wind. I hope I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I will play some of it so you'll get a chance to hear who that incredible flutist is. Okay, that's good. Thank you, brother. You know, I should say that I was always will be a member of the Eternal Wind Ensemble. We went out into the desert. What is that desert outside of Los Angeles? And we scattered our instruments all over this area, and we took that picture for our cover art for Terra Incognito. Adam Rudolph was a percussionist. Federico Ramos from Uruguay was playing the guitar and string instruments. Charles Moore was the composer and playing the muted trumpet. And I did the bass clarinet and the flute on that. And Charles always wrote these beautiful melodies. I mean, really, to this day, sometimes I can sit down at the piano and play some of those pieces. We're going to stay in the area of Milton Nascimento. And this is a piece he did called Anima, and he did this with the world music group called Uakchi. If I'm not mistaken, if that pronunciation is correct. But I just wanted to play some of this Milton because we will be listening to some of his music as well, because Ilham and Juan will be doing a presentation later on of one of our sessions on the music of Brazil during this period. Ilham will be doing a presentation on one of our sessions on the music of Morocco and North Africa. So we cover a lot of different areas of music. We do a lot of, this music is also very healing. And I hope this will heal our sister who has been facing these health challenges. And we hope that this music will heal her. At any rate, Anima, Milton Nascimento.
Lapida, minha procura toda, trama lapida, o que o coração, com toda a inspiração, achou de nomear, gritando alma, recria. atravessar fronteiras do amanhecer e ao entardecer olhar com calma. Então, alma vai além de tudo que o nosso mundo ousa perceber. Casa cheia de coragem, vida, tira a mancha que há no meu ser. Te quero ver, te quero ser. Viajar nessa procura toda de me lapidar, neste momento agora de me recriar, de me gratificar, de busco alma, eu sei. Casa aberta onde mora um mestre, um mago da luz, onde se encontra o templo que inventa amor, anima ao amor, onde se esquece a paz. Alma vai além de tudo que o nosso mundo ousa perceber. Casa cheia de coragem, vida, todo afeto que há no meu ser. Te quero ver, te quero ser.
Thank you, you know, for some of you that may not be familiar, I know most of us are familiar with the music of Milton Nascimento, but I'm going to say that he is almost getting a resurgence of listeners because due to his collaborations with Esperanza Spalding, and his a lot of young people are getting turned on to Milton even now, you know. Juan, did you have something? Did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say about Wakti actually, which
Oh,
is
wow.
also a beautiful job, you know, that this group created, and they make their own instruments, you know, and they also have an album with Philip Glass, and it's a very, you know, these two these two forces together, you know, Milton and Wakti from Minas is just too much, you know. And
Put their name
it's
in
just
the chat so they can, you know, in case anybody wants to hear. I have one of their first recordings
Mhm.
that they did. It's on vinyl, so you know I'm treasuring it. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
it's
very much.
beautiful, beautiful work.
Yes, and Milton, what can you say about Milton? You know, there were a resurgence of I call it word music. Is that what I said? Spoken music? Spoken music. And I thought about this when I was listening to this piece by the remarkable spoken musician, spoken musician, Bobby McFerrin, doing a Beatles song, Blackbird, singing in the dead of night.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. For your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Ding this song and I has learned to sing. Ding dum ba dum all your life. We're only waiting for this moment to be prayed. Beep beep doo doo blah. Bird flying. Boom 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 blah. Bird flying. Boom boom. Yeah, to the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take this song in my eyes and learn to sing. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be brave. Blackbird fly.
Okay, brother. Spoken music, I've never heard anyone do what he does. How incredible, how incredible. And I do want to also play some of the music of our more adventurous composers and ensembles. The very great Steve Coleman and his Five Elements Ensemble. This piece is called On the Edge of Tomorrow. Little One, I'll Miss You. Steve Coleman. Beautiful composition.
Little one, I'll miss you. If you go, I'll miss you. So will all the flowers that bloom in the springtime. Say you'll stay forever, and you'll leave me never. Little star of heaven, leave me never. I love you. Little diamond shining, you're my silver lining. You are the sunshine after the rain. Say you'll stay forever, and you'll leave me never. Song of love and heaven, leave me never. I love. I
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Whenever I hear Steve Coleman's music, it pulls me into it. You know, what an incredible composition that was. Now, I'm going to skip across from New York into Detroit again. And this is to be one of the most explosive and creative, I'm going to say that, not the, I'll say one of the very explorative and creative ensembles from Detroit, featuring Brother Sadiq Bey, and see, I'm trying to think of the bassist is Jaribu and Tani and Anthony Holland and Sadiq Bey. No, well, there was Sadiq Bey, but there was also, and I'm forgetting his name, and please forgive me, I'll remember it as we go on, but I want you to hear this composition. They were doing some music in Detroit that few people were actually venturing into that area that they were into. So let's hear this from the Griot Galaxy. Farouk Bey, sorry, Farouk Bey. Kids. All right, brother. When time allows, please check out Griot Galaxy and their recordings on YouTube. They were just incredible as an ensemble. I wish they could have stayed together a bit longer. And that was, please forgive me, that was Farouk Bey And Sadiq was the percussionist, Sadiq Bey, and Tani Tabal, Jaribo Shahid, and Anthony Holland, I believe, was the saxophonist. They had two, a tenor player and an alto player, and Farouk was playing tenor. What an incredible ensemble they were. I thought they would behind the Art Ensemble of Chicago, they would come out with their faces painted and play. And there was a lot of theater also coming from Art Ensemble of Chicago and Sun Ra. Thank you very much. Anyway, I want to this next half hour, I want to kind of dedicate to some of my elders. I'm going to say that who I have gleaned so much from. And in 1985, Brother Yusuf Abdul Latif was awarded the first award in the category of new music. I think they called it, I can't think of the name they gave. What was it?
New Age music.
New Age music. That's what it was. There's so much comes in and so much leaves. At any rate, New Age music. He got the first Grammy Award for New Age music. What was so fascinating about this is when we began to work with Yusuf, Eternal Wind, and we would do concerts and we would always have wonderful conversations. I think one of the first things I asked, I said, well, Yusuf, congratulations on achieving this Grammy Award for New Age music. He said, well, brother, I've been doing this music like this all along. I was really, really surprised that they made it a category. I think he was more pleased with that than being considered a JAZZ musician, At any rate, this is the recording that he got the Grammy Award for, and it was called Little Symphony. But this is the part I'm going to play just an excerpt, or we are going to play just an excerpt from the last movement, which was called Presto. Yeah. I hope that you all will listen to this incredible work in its entirety, Little Symphony, and it opens a door. The electronics. Yusuf was working with electronics during this period, and he was always, he from then on, I think, on to towards the end of his living on this planet, he was using electronics and different effects in the music that he was doing. This is just an incredible recording, but like I said, he got the first Grammy for New Age music. How wonderful that is. I also want to, on this next recording, pay homage to Dewey Redman, another great master of the tenor saxophone. People always say, well, yeah, that was Joshua Redman's dad. But Dewey Redman had his own thing on the tenor saxophone through his collaborations with Ornette Coleman, his collaborations with Keith Jarrett. He was always being on the cutting edge of the tenor saxophone. And I just want to play a little bit of this piece that he did. Dewey Redman, tenor saxophone. Mm. Before I forget, I want to welcome our brother, Dr. Sam Person, who came on a while ago, and I neglected to acknowledge him. And I always want to acknowledge our elders, and our pace setters. I was looking, while this was playing, I was looking at the personnel on this particular recording. And he had Eddie Morris playing the drums. He had Cameron Brown playing the bass, but he had Jerry Allen playing piano on that composition. How about that? Yes, just incredible. Dewey Redman. Okay, Dewey Redman. This is a short interview. I wanted you to hear Reggie Workman talking about his path in Philadelphia and going forth. I think you will find this very interesting. I found it very interesting. Dewey Redman really plays the tenor played the tenor really incredibly. Yes, he really did. I'm so inspired every time I hear him. But anyway, NEA Master Reggie Workman.
There's a vibration that goes into your body. It affects you as a human being. You have to consider it like part of you. I decided when I was in junior high school that music was a very important thing for me. My family had a house north of Germantown in Philadelphia, and I used to have a room on the third floor where I would stay up all night practicing. Freddie Cole, Nat Cole's younger brother, came to Philadelphia and asked me to join his band. I traveled with Freddie Cole's quartet for a while, and then coming back into town, I could not be satisfied with staying in Philadelphia. I moved to New York and began to work with different people. So many musicians, I couldn't name them all. John Coltrane was working at the Village Gate, and I was working around the corner. John came in, didn't say anything, sat down, listened, and I was in awe. He left, went back to do his set at the Village Gate. A couple days later, he called me up and said, "Hey, Workman, do you want to join my band?" My thoughts were, hey, is the Pope Catholic? I'll never forget the time I asked him, "John, well, how do you want me to interpret this part of your tune?" And he stopped me and said, "Listen, man, I'm having a hard enough time playing this saxophone. Don't ask me how you're supposed to play the bass. You figure it out." Now, Art Blakey was a different kind of person. He was a more like a very specific leader, very definite about the way he wanted a group to be. So that was a new lesson for me, to be able to fit your music into where he was. As a supporting artist, one has to really bring their own sound. In jazz world, you are expected to be able to understand what the composition before you is about. Then you must be able to give what is necessary to expand it and make it bigger and better. That's a craft that we all have to develop as spontaneous composers.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, from the top, and just a couple choruses, please.
That's good. What an incredible statement. I'm finding a saxophone hard enough. You want me to, I can't tell you how to play the bass. How wonderful that was. How profound. I'm going to say that. As we listen to music, I think it's always important to hear what the artist has to say out of his own mouth, out of his own spirit, how he wants to tell people about what he thinks about music and being on the path to being a musician. Ornette Coleman, I'm sorry, that was 2020 when that was done, but I think, Reggie Workman is still teaching at the New School in New York. What an incredible, incredible musician he is, and person, I'm going to say that. Ornette Coleman.
going to be the person to see how it should be. We're not trying to make something out of people. We're trying to make people out of something. Well, we go do it not just because who we are, but we think that people would enjoy something that they would enjoy. I'm not going to ask you what and how. I'm just going to talk to you when and where.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all.
And I listen.
I know that. Yeah. I know it. We can do it. But the first thing we should do is to speak to people that you never know or never have met or nothing, and just talk to them and see how they treat you. I'd rather to do something that you can help people to help each other. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I believe in that strongly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we do that, we could really come to what we call God.
The universe.
Universe, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And just do it because it's something that we want people to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How to treat people and how to do things for them.
Mm-hmm.
And find out what is wrong, not what's wrong. Let's get what is right.
Okay. Please listen to the rest of this this interview with Ornette. There's so much wisdom. I had a conversation with Gary Bartz about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he said, "Man, Ornette got it." Ornette, he said, people have glossed over Ornette. He said, but listen to Ornette. And I've been listening to Ornette a lot anyway, but it just gave me the impetus to go forward further into Ornette's music. Incredible. And his philosophy, the way he thought about things, you can't separate the music, the oral part of this from what is the philosophy, what is the spirituality of the artist. And you find that listening to Ornette's music, but also listening to him talk about it, it's very important. One of the great guitarists that was playing with Ornette, and his name is James Blood Ulmer, who is originally from South Carolina. He spent time in Pittsburgh. He played the organ circuit, in the Midwest, and then he spent time in Detroit, where he played with an ensemble, Detroit ensemble called Focus Novi. And Blood, as we knew him, Blood was playing and teaching guitar, and he was doing a few really club gigs. I guess he was playing at a club called the Bluebird, which was a very historical club in Detroit. Next thing I know, Blood said, I'm going to New York. I'm going to go play with Ornette. Everybody said, okay, because he had he had developed his own way of playing the guitar, his own way of looking at it. And I think Ornette had said something, well, you already are playing our melodic, which was his concept. But at any rate, Blood was also, if I'm not mistaken, a featured artist at the last Detroit Jazz Festival that they had this past Labor Day. But this song that he did called Rush Hour, and I want to hear some of that. I want you to hear just a hair of this, and you can hear where the influence of Ornette on Blood and Blood on Ornette. Rush Hour. Okay. Yeah. Emerging artists from the 1980s. James Blood Ulmer. I want you to hear just a touch of this next piece that Blood was also singing, and he was singing and playing the guitar like himself, I should say. Where Did All the Girls Come From? That might have been Sam Sanders on alto on that composition. I'm going to go check that out to make sure. Where Did All the Girls Come From?
It's your love that matters now. And it's you I'd rather. It's your love that matters now. And it's you I'd rather.
Okay. This music just makes me laugh. It's so good. It's so good. James Blood Ulmer, my goodness. Where Did All the Girls Come From? I thought I only had enough money for one. Listen, the ensemble that he did, and I mentioned it briefly, that he had in Detroit, that he was a part of in Detroit, was James Blood Ulmer, Doug Hammond, Issa Abram Alim, John Dana, and Bill Wiggins was the saxophonist in that ensemble. They were really doing futuristic music at that time in Detroit and before Blood left. But Issa is still there and creating incredible music every day. I'm going to say that. We're going to close up, and I think we did this just enough time. Our last composition, because we will be stepping into hip hop music and what was happening, and who better to do this with but NWA, straight out of Compton, and Juan's going to show some incredible art by the great Jean-Michel Basquiat. Okay.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called niggas with attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a sawed off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off. You too, boy, if you fuck with me. The police are gonna have to come and get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out. For the punk motherfuckers that's showing out. Niggas start to mumble, they wanna rumble. Mix 'em and cook 'em in a pot like gumbo. Going off on the motherfucker like that. With a gat that's pointed at your ass. So give it up smooth. Ain't no telling when I'm down for a jack move. Here's a murder rap to keep ya dancing. With a crime record like Charles Manson. AK-47 is a tool. Don't make me act a motherfucking fool. Me and you can go toe to toe, no mate. I'm knocking niggas out the box daily. Yo, weekly, monthly, and yearly. Until them dumb motherfuckers see clearly that I'm down with the capital CBT. Boy, you can't fuck with me. So when I'm in your neighborhood, you better duck. Cause Ice Cube is crazy as fuck. As I leave, believe I'm stomping. But when I come back, boy, I'm coming straight out of Compton.
What's up?
Tell them where you from. Straight out of Compton. Another crazy ass nigga. When punks I smoke, yo, my rep gets bigger. I'm a bad motherfucker and you know this. But the pussy ass niggas won't for my snaps. If not from the records, from jacking a crowd, just like burglary. The definition is jacking, or when illegally armed, it's called packing. Shoot a motherfucker in a minute. I find a good piece of pussy and go up in it. So if you're at a show in the front row, I'ma call you a bitch or a dirty ass hoe. You probably get mad like a bitch is supposed to, but that shows me slut joke and pose to a crazy motherfucker from the street. Attitude legit, cause I'm tearing up shit. MC Ren controls the automatic. For any dumb motherfucker, it starts static. Not a right hand, cause I'm the hand itself. Every time I pull an AK off the shelf, the security is maximum, and that's a law. R-E-N spells red, but I'm wrong. See, cause I'm the motherfucking villain. The definition is clear, you're the witness of a killing that's taking place without a clue. And once you're on the scope, your ass is through. Look, you might take it as a trip, but a nigga like Ren is on the gangster tip, straight out of Compton. 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 Easy is his name and the boys coming
Straight out of Compton is a brother that'll smother your mother and make your sister think I love her. Dangerous motherfucker raising hell, and if I ever get caught, I make bail. See, I don't give a fuck. That's the problem. I see a motherfucking cop, I don't dodge him, but I'm smart, lay low, creep a while, and when I see the punk pass, I smile. To me, it's kind of funny. The attitude show a nigga driving, but don't know where the fuck he going, just rolling, looking for the one they call easy. But here's a flash that never sees me, ruthless, never seen like a shadow in the dark. Except when I unload, you see a spark jump over hesitation, and hear the scream of the one who got the lead penetration. Feel a little gust of wind and I'm jetting. Believe a memory, no one will be forgetting. So what about the bitch who got shot? Fucker, you think I give a damn about a bitch? I ain't a sucker. This is an autobiography of the E, and if you ever fuck with me, you get taken by a stupid dope brother who will smother. Word to the motherfucker, straight out of Compton, 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 Compton.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way.
NWA. Listen, yeah, we lived through that, Charles. Listen, I just want to say this. This is some of the music that was emerging from the 1980s, and it was totally uncensored, unabashed, and it was right in your face. NWA, along with some other, when we get further into some of our sessions, we will be getting deeper into the hip hop music and the different regions that this music was taken on. And it spread all over the world. I'm just gonna say, when we first heard it, I think some of us were offended by the language because nobody had really put that kind of language into song like that, but it's true, what they were feeling and how they were living. But now we have come to our closing, and I want to thank all of you that were brave enough to stay with us throughout this throughout our open house. And I hope you'll tell others to come and join us as well. You know, I had a wonderful time. Some of this music is just going to be worth going back and listening to it on your own. I know I'm going to go back and listen to some of this music again. Be sure you check out Brother Yusef's New Age music. He got a big kick out of that. New Age. At any rate, this is the time also that we open up our chat for anybody that wants to say anything about any questions that we have about the music or the artists that you listened to during this hour and a half. We've gone 3 minutes overtime. That's pretty good, you know. But we're gonna open up the chat, and the floor is all yours, seekers. Thank you very much.
Let me
Go
just
ahead. Go ahead.
first
Go ahead, brother.
thank you, of course, for this amazing night and selection of music, but also to say to our viewers on YouTube that now we're gonna stop the transmission for you guys. And if you want to join us here and participate in this last part, you can join us, of course, on next Thursday on Zoom. And the information will be in our website. So I'm gonna stop the recording here as well and open the mics. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming tonight. You are all free to speak now.
Assalamu alaikum. It's Carolyn Wanzo over here. I'm in Las
Walaikum assalam.
Vegas. Yes,
Walaikum
yes.
assalam. Sister Carolyn, good to see your name.
Oh my God, yeah.